go from hello to yes on what you're looking for. I watch people get stuck in Frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck in Frozen too. The greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
About diversity and inclusion through social campaigns and workshops, and is a subject that she's very passionate to talk about, as well as business, because she is a sought after motivational speaker. So welcome, Adrienne.
Hi, thank you. Very good to be here.
Good to have you here.
That's awesome. So yeah, how's life, things, and a fun fact, please.
And things are developing. I came in contact with Unblinded back sometime in quarantine, and I want to say about April or May. And since then, it's just cool to see how many things have come full circle. Things have been great. Since then, I've also been transitioning out of my corporate job as a philanthropist into stepping out and being self-employed and starting to do a lot more styling. And though I'm very passionate about Studio 33, the most important thing that I'm most passionate about is all the things under the umbrella of it that will unfold as we continue on with the show.
Amazing. And what position did you play in the WNBA?
So yeah, my rookie season, I played point guard, next to people like Becky Hammond and Vicki Johnson. It was a great experience.
Were you breaking ankles and taking people off the dribble?
I was just taking notes and happy to be there. I was very much a rookie. I was just humbled by it, but it was a great experience.
And where did you play before the WNBA?
I played at TCU, and then that's where I got inducted into the TCU Hall of Fame. And then I played 10 years abroad, and so that was one of the things. I had to travel the world a lot, and yeah.
So at TCU, were you breaking ankles? Come on now.
Definitely. I can't even deny it. That was my thing. That was my thing. Yeah.
What's going on? Vivian, do you know what ankle breaking means? I know sports is not your thing, but do you know what ankle breaking means, Vivian?
It sounds very self-explanatory, but I hear that over spraining your ankle, that it's better to break it because it heals and it functions better.
Very true.
You should see Vivian's face right now, Sean. It says everything about how she feels about the situation.
So, Adrienne, could you please explain to Vivian, like, the ankle breaking that you did, so she doesn't think you're like a mobster?
It was just says I was hard to guard. So if you tried to guard me and I go this way, your ankles would go that way, and then
I feel that deeply.
Grabbing her chest.
Jail.
So you're the ankle breaker. Oh,
yeah, retired.
Yes. So that is amazing. So Vivian, we will, can you demonstrate some of your like moves? Like Vivian, so if you're gonna like take people off the dribble, like, so could you stand up, Vivian, real quick?
I'm standing.
All right. So I can't see, by the way. I was a Division I college baseball player, Adrienne, but those days are long behind with my vision going. So if you're taking people off the dribble, like, are you in like an athletic position, Vivian, or no?
I'm in an athletic position, Sean.
Let's see if you're
coaching me. I'm in.
Let's go like left, right, left, like making a move. Let's see your moves, left, right, left. I want to see you break somebody's ankles.
I broke my own.
Adrian, how's Vivian doing?
And that's possible too. Sometimes you can break your own. I've been known.
That is amazing. So, Adrian, thanks so much for being here. How about a fun fact, though, Adrian? What's a fun fact?
Fun fact. I actually lived in 12 different countries throughout Europe. So
Yeah. What's your favorite country?
It's very fun. That's very fun.
What's your favorite?
I would have to go with Barcelona, Spain. I live right outside of it, but to be able to get to the beach on off days with good shopping, I loved it a lot. As far as culture went, I liked a lot Beirut and the Polish culture. I like Lebanon and Poland. Yeah.
Amazing.
Don't you have a fun fact with bulls, Sean?
What's that?
Don't you have a fun fact with bulls, Sean?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yes. Tink, what's our fun fact about bulls?
Last year we ran with the bulls in Spain.
And this straight up lunatic, this is Tank Nicole Mael. She's the chief of staff of Fun and Magic and Unblinded. And this lunatic was being lifted up by the crowd. I'm like, Nicole, this is crazy. We're going to die. We're going to get trampled. Like, we have to get out of this. She's like, I'm not going. Get your effing hands off me. Like, this is what's happening. I'm running with the bulls. Stop. Like, yeah. And that did happen. Did that, Nicole?
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yes.
She's like, no.
So welcome to the Real Raw. Thank you. So Vivian, Adrian, thank you for being here. We got another participant to square up, and ankle breaking is present. And who else do we have here?
We have in from Surrey, from the south of London, with Jessica Impiazzi.
Hello.
Oh, Jessica, an amazing voice. This is truly incredible. So Jessica, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you guys?
Oh, so happy to be hearing you speak. So Vivian, who is this amazing person? Please tell us.
I'm just in love. Jess is a British actress who's been on 2 reality TV shows, X on the Beach and ranked 4th on Celebrity Big Brother. She shares inspiring stories on her show, Lunch with Jess, which airs on YouTube. Jess is also a model and businesswoman with a sports fashion line called HD Female. She is most proud of her upcoming book titled Silver Linings and Champions for the Blind. In fact, it was her mom's loss of sight due to uveal effusion syndrome that sparked her to take action. Not only did she leave the world-famed Italia Conti Academy of Arts to champion and care for her mom, but she went right to the British Parliament to fight for equal rights for those discriminated against for using guide dogs. She is currently an ambassador for the Guide Dogs charity. So welcome, Jess.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Jess, thank you so much for the amazing work you're doing in the world. As you probably know, I am blind. My grandfather was blind. His brother, my Uncle Frankie, who's still alive, living in Miami, amazing man, is blind. Cousins are blind. It's a hereditary eye condition. So thank you for stepping in into that space in the world.
Well, I think, it's for me, from having I built a platform through the reality TV, and I didn't like the way it was going. I think people were getting aggressive and unkind, and that wasn't me anymore. So I wanted to change my input into that and use my platform to help people in the best way I could. And I was witnessing someone living through blindness firsthand. And the thing that changed my mum's life was getting her guide dogs. So she was getting her independence back, being able to go to the shops by herself. And she was 47 when she lost her eyesight. So it was quite late in life. So to watch her be this big bubbly person that she's always been, to suddenly be in a shadow of herself, I saw the guide dogs bring that back into her and bring her personality back and her zest for life again. And I wanted to use my platform to help in any way I could, to know that other people would be able to get that experience that my mum has, to change her world back for the better. So I scrapped the reality, went back to my roots of acting, and went back to acting school later on in life, and used as much as I could to help people in less fortunate situations. And that's when we went to Parliament. We had a big problem over in the UK where taxi drivers were refusing to take people with guide dogs. And my mum had been left on the side of the road before when the taxi driver saw her with a guide dog and drove off. Now it's so dangerous and so frightening for her and others that this is happening to, that we managed to lobby Parliament in the UK, and we had 100 guide dog owners join us and make some changes for these people that were doing that. So no longer was it just a £50 fine, it was a £5,000 to £10,000 fine, and also a revoke of the license. So people are less inclined to do that again.
Wow, that's amazing. And do you prefer Jess or Jessica?
Either. I'm normally just Jess.
Thank you, Jess. Okay, so thank you for your work. I have the unique privilege of being on the board of the American Foundation for the Blind. And this is the 100th anniversary year of the organization that Helen Keller was the face of during her lifetime. So yeah, very special times and a remarkable job. By the way, 70% of blind Americans are unemployed. 70%. And that's a number that needs to change, but I don't think it only needs to change on the employment side. I think it needs to change in how we empower blind people to remember their gifts and their power. And that's a part of what I stand for in the world. So thank you for this connectivity.
And thank you as well.
Yeah. And how about for a fun fact about you?
Fun facts. So I've climbed 3 mountains around the world for the charities. The biggest one being Mount Kilimanjaro. And that was probably the most hardest but rewarding experience of my entire life.
Amazing. How long did that climb, that whole process take, Jess?
It was 7 days. So it was 4 days up and 3 days down, because you have to get used to the altitude, because otherwise you can get sick and have to go back down really quick. So you have to climb up and sleep down, climb up, sleep down, and that's why it takes so long. But it's really tough, probably the toughest experience of my life. But also it taught me something, that if you put one foot in front of the other, you can get to any heights. And I looked up at that mountain on the first day and thought, there's absolutely no way these little legs are going to get up there. But when I did, I thought, okay, so that's shown me something here. That's a life lesson. One foot in front of the other, just keep going forward. And that's kind of flown into the rest of my life now.
That's a beautiful thing. Jess, thank you so much for being here. We have like mountain climbing, blindness changing, ankle breaking, standing for things in the world. An amazing day. It's like another day, Nicole, on the Real Raw. So Vivian, we got some judges though for these fine folks, Jess and Adrian.
We sure do. And from Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, we have Mary Curett.
Hello.
You got amazing women today. Amazing. Hello, Mary.
All over the place.
Yes. North Carolina's in the house. Vivian, let's hit it with Mary's amazingness.
Ooh, she's a former Chamber of Commerce executive, founder and CEO of Frontrunner Development and Frontrunners Innovative magazine. She is also founder of the Frontrunners League. Inside Mary's brain, she's a business developer for innovators in impact spaces, kind of like Bill Gates. She conducts the think tanks, uses her platform as speaking engagements, pulls all her skills from research development, funding, partners with disruptors to solve world problems and instigate change. She's worked with NASA, the UN, Red Cross, Coca-Cola, InterHealth, Microsoft, and has partnered with many, including the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network. Mary Curett is amazing, and welcome to the Real Raw.
Oh, Mary, you're like rocket science.
She made me sound good.
Yeah. Mary, are you ever gonna like fly to the moon, Mary?
No, I don't know. I'm probably the oldest of the whole group here, and so I feel like I've done 100 different things in different spaces and finally landed where I needed to be in impact world. So that's me.
Thank you for what you're up to. And how about a fun fact about you, Mary?
Yeah, this is going to be a little different. All you guys are climbing mountains and stuff like that. I was actually an extra in a Muppet movie years ago. And so
what movie? Which Muppet movie?
Totally different from all of you folks who are doing such grand things. Yeah, I had a few actual fun facts that are weird about me, but that was probably one that I thought was the most fun.
Give us some.
Because I got to get called back and work with Miss Piggy and Kermit and.
Oh, that's awesome!
This is amazing.
Muppets from Space. I was a wacko.
So, which one was it? Which Muppet movie?
Muppets from Space. It was filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina. That's why it was so convenient to me. I had an agent down there that called me and asked if I wanted to do it. Right place, right time. I ended up bringing my 12-year-old daughter to the set. They called her back. She was one of 2 children performing, and she's in the last frame of that movie as they're pulling back the camera. So, yeah, so it's fun.
So can I just ask you an important question though, Mary?
Yeah.
What do you think the relationship is between Gonzo and Elmo? It's very confusing because they look the same, they sound different, they're like blue and red. Like, any idea of like the Elmo Gonzo dynamic?
Yeah, I think there's a little competition there. I think over all of them, where people think there is a love interest between Miss Piggy and Kermit, it's not so much a love interest. Each one of them had their own sound stage, their own wardrobe department. So yeah,
Well, thank you. I always felt for Kermit very deeply because I've, well, it's a longer story for a different day, but I always felt for Kermit. So yes, and his oppressed dynamic from feminine, man, all kinds of confusing things are going on. So with you, Mary, thank you for being here. Muppet lost in spaceness and nastiness is not lost on us. Thank you so much for being here today.
Sure.
Yeah. Vivian, do you have fun on the Real Raw, Vivian? Do you have fun?
I always have fun on the Real Raw. This is the highlight of my day when I come on.
Thank you. So please, we got more.
Yes, we do. In from West Vancouver, we have, and that's British Columbia, we have Cheryl Brewster in the house.
Cheryl's in the house. Vancouver. We've had like an influx of Vancouver folks, and it's amazing. Where Tony Robbins' wife Sage is from, and brother Scott Humphrey. I mean, it's amazing. So Vancouver is in the house, and let's hear about Cheryl's awesomeness.
She's owner of Intuitive Life. Here she is an intentional coach, joy strategist, speaker, and she's on a mission to help you create your own epic adventure through clarity, confidence, and navigating life's transitions. Plus, she's an ordained minister of metaphysics. Welcome, Cheryl.
Wow.
Cheryl, talk to us about your ordainedness in metaphysics. Like, I love this. So
I will. Well, first of all, it's so great to meet you all and hear the amazing things everyone's doing in the world. So I am also a business intuitive. So I support people in business using their intuition for decision making, for checking in with the energy of what's happening, what's going on. And my spiritual side is really supporting entrepreneurs and thought leaders and business leaders and really staying connected to what's most important so that they can really bring their vision to the world.
beautiful. Well, thank you for that. How about a fun fact? What's the craziest metaphysical dynamic you've ever seen? We'll do that later. But what's your fun fact?
Fun fact for me is one of my hobbies is learning and connecting with people and working without a net. So I've taken training in stand-up comedy and much prefer improv. So we'll have fun today here, all of us improving, I'm sure.
Yes, we enjoy and have fun. So thank you so much for being here. Improv, metaphysics, and for those that are out there, how would you define metaphysics?
That's a really great question.
That's
are you asking me or are you asking everybody?
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm asking you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And that's why they pay me the big bucks for the great question.
I would define metaphysics as your place in the universe and what that means to you and your ability to expand your capacity to absolutely enjoy your life and be everything that you can possibly be, taking advantage of these realms of consciousness that we all intersect.
I love that. Have you ever, do you have any familiarity with the book Power versus Force, the Hawkins book? Has that come across your way or not yet?
One of my favorite books and one that I draw on continually to remind people of, especially in business, there's an easier way of doing a business. Are you forcing yourself or are you coming from this place inside of you that keeps you alive? So in other words, Howard Thurman, the mentor to Martin Luther King Jr., famous quote is, "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs are people who come alive."
Robinson, big time.
That's so good.
That is
and
awesome.
That's what you're all doing here. So this is very cool to be a part of really connecting in these deeper ways and being inspired to really bring our best to ourselves first and then to the world.
Well, that is what this work is about. So thank you for that distinction and reminder. Cheryl, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. How about a fun fact? We do a fun fact. We did a fun fact.
Fun fact I shared with you is my love of improv and really
just metaphysics. Like,
creating.
What would you say is the craziest thing you've ever seen that you would say is something that people wouldn't think was possible? Is there anything that comes up about like the space of metaphysics and things occurring?
Sure. I'm very privileged to do the work that I do because it's so fascinating. It's so incredible. A fun fact, a part of my work is, I'll give you an example. I recently led an intuitive business mastermind and for professionals, entrepreneurs. And as I was literally tuning in and saying, okay, who needs to be in this mastermind? Show me the person that will best benefit from this. And an image of a colleague of mine came up. For whatever reason, I could not find her email, even though I have it. So I picked up the phone and I phoned her. First thing she said to me was, Cheryl, do you have a message for me? And I said, well, actually, I do. I'm leading this intuitive business mastermind. I think it'd be great for you to grow your business and grow your potential at the same time. Why do you ask? And her answer was, I had a dream. And in my dream, I was told that I would get a message today. And here you are.
Amazing.
So needless to say, she took the mastermind and loved it. Yeah. So that's just an example of little things. There's many more stories, but yeah.
I'm sure.
That is so
beautiful.
cool.
And thank you for sharing that and for being here today, Cheryl. Awesome.
I love this. I feel so at peace now listening to her. I have a girlfriend of mine who said the example that she gave, you're such a great storyteller. She said, those are universal kisses or universe kisses, like what you just described, kind of falls in that. I love it. Anyway.
Yes. Yes.
So,
I know. Amazing.
Thank you, Cheryl, for being here. And Vivian, we got one more amazing rock star before the rock star of rock stars.
Yes, we do. We have Dr. Lance Stromberg in the house.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
And I see your daughter's with you. Dr. Lance is a chiropractor at Michaud Family Chiropractic in Claremont, Florida. Welcome. Welcome, Lance.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And I had sat down and then I saw, and started listening to everybody's, stories. And so I texted my daughter and I said, you need to come in here because
it's amazing.
I just want her to see and feel your energy. And, she's an amazing rock star. And so, just watching her grow and I want her to, be part of this today and hear, what's possible out there and, really just continue to expand her mind.
Amazing. And
that is amazing.
Yeah, so beautiful. And how would you like us to refer to you today? Doctor?
You can call me Lance, that's fine.
Okay, well, thank you, Lance. And what's your daughter's name?
Sydney.
Sydney, very cool. And I can't see, so, and how old is Sydney?
Sydney's 13.
Well, hello, Sydney.
Welcome, Sydney.
Welcome, Sydney.
Welcome.
So glad you're here.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic. Yes, and today, as a fun fact, Vivian, is my daughter Courtney's 19th birthday. So it goes quite fast, as many of us know that are here. So a beautiful, fun day for us. And we got one more amazing person that's here today. But first, let's go with Lance. What's your fun fact, Lance?
My fun fact, just being able to take care of so many people. When I started in this profession, I just thought it was going to be, hey, helping people every single day. But the stories I get to hear, and so I kind of resonate with everybody, from taking care of professional athletes like Adrian to, being where we're at with Disney and taking care of, famous people and actors. And then, listening to Cheryl talk about every single day, thinking about people that just, you maybe haven't seen in a while. And, I've been part owner in this practice for 7 years now. And, we'll go days where we'll, open up with, a huddle in the office and we'll think of somebody and the staff will say, hey, we haven't seen this person. And it might be 5-6 years and that person will, they'll show up, they'll call. So I totally resonate with that, Cheryl, on how that is. And, I joke with my staff and I tell my staff, if there's somebody on your heart, say their name out loud, because that they will show up however or how they're supposed to. And sometimes that's, a call, sometimes it's, calling. And, within the last year, I tried to be more present with, if somebody came up, in my mind, to send them a text, to send them a call, because so often, those prompts, however you want to refer to them, there's power behind them and there's a reason behind them. I think that's just a beautiful thing.
is. And thank you so much for being here today, Lance, and your heart and your beautiful energy is received.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Vivian.
We
I've got one more fun fact for you guys.
Please.
Let's hear it.
So Sydney here is actually going to be on America's Funniest Home Videos.
That's
Sunday.
awesome.
Doing
So-
what?
She buries her head in her
Doing-
hands.
Doing
Of
what
course she does.
exactly? What does she do?
So I pranked her with the balloon joke where you throw balloons, you toss 2 balloons that are empty, and then the third balloon has water in it. And I got it all on video. It was perfect. It was everything. And so we submitted it. And so she's going to be one of the finalists on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh, you have to share this video with us.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you. Congratulations, Sydney, Lance, amazing. And Vivian.
We have someone who would sell water balloons at her front lawn if she had to and could. That would be our sales sorceress. Bella Barita. Because that's how she started at the age of 8. And then she became a top income earner in a network marketing organization by the age of 19. By 24, she built a multiple seven-figure real estate company, becoming the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada. Woo, 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 woo. Today, she's CEO at Align Sales, the first female-led remote sales training and recruiting agency, and is devoted to helping women scale and create financial freedom through sales. In fact, she places more women salespeople than anyone else in the country. So welcome.
Boom.
Boom.
Bella Verita, welcome to the Real Raw. You're home away from home. How are you, Bella?
I am absolutely spectacular, Sean. Thank you.
Amazing. And what is present for you on this fine, thankful Thursday as we sit in the Chris Crone Convention Center?
Well, there's all kinds of things that are present for me, but the #1 thing that I think is present for me is I was invited to do a sales training for Chris Crone's team over Sean Callaghy.
That is like a wild distortion. And if you, oh my goodness.
Wait a minute, how is that a distortion? Have you been invited? How is that a wild distortion? Because I think you're the only one that's distorting it.
You said over Sean Callaghy. I didn't ask. You did, but they
I
have
did
brought
not
me
ask, Sean.
They
Let's
have
be
brought me out
clear.
here to speak
Let's
4
be
different
clear.
times.
I did not ask.
Okay,
Let's
I'm
be
looking
clear.
for Chris Crone's
Woo!
staff.
Someone's
I am
getting
looking for
competitive.
Chris Crone's staff. Is Carson here? Does anybody see Carson? Where is Carson?
I
down
think
the
he's on
gauntlet.
stage.
Okay, Carson is on. When Carson comes off stage, we're gonna have this out. So we will hopefully have this complete before the Real Raw is over. But if not, on Monday nights, it's What is Unblinded and Why the Real Raw. We're gonna have Carson and Bella on this Monday night. That's what we're doing. So
Let's do
Bella,
that.
yes, we will do that for sure. Now, Bella, you are absolutely amazing. How about a fun fact?
So I'm going to share 2 fun facts. Is one, because I was looking at Adrian, I was like, Adrian looks so familiar to me. So I don't know if you actually know this, Sean. I had a personal styling company for 12 years called The Speaker Stylist, and a custom menswear company based out of Dallas, Texas. So I don't know if we have crossed paths at some point, but you've definitely looked familiar to me. And then second fun fact is, which I don't know if you know this as well, is that I actually have my practitioner license through the Center for Spiritual Living in Religious Science.
There you go.
Oh my goodness, is that right, Bella?
Yeah.
Is that why all this weird stuff keeps
That is
happening?
cool.
To me?
This is a really good weird day. A really good weird day.
That is really great. So, Bella, are you ready?
I am ready.
Vivian, you are the bomb. And we are not here without you. Like the heart-centered, loving, caring, hugging bomb. And so thank you so much, Vivian, for all that you do in the world. And you're super fun.
Thanks for having me. Have fun. Mwah.
We'll see
Hi,
you soon.
Vivian.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella. That's amazing. That's like a
That's a thing.
So, Bella, who's going
Yes, sir.
first?
I would love to see the superpowers of Adrian first.
All
How do you
right.
feel about that?
Hey, I'm here. I'm with it.
All right.
I think you got
He's in
it.
his
sister.
message, so I'm like, all right.
Bella,
it.
Bella, you are a huge sports fan. Do you think that you could guard Adrian in a game of one-on-one? Like, let's say it's like a one-on-one basketball game up to 11. How long do you think that game could last? And what do you think the final score would be?
Well, I would likely be at the bar having a beer than on the court.
I'd probably be with you these days.
So I don't think like there's any Bella Verita getting on a basketball court. Volleyball court, yes. Basketball court, not so much.
All right. I would like to then cause that and video that entire thing. So that's a thing to be figured out. So Adrian, who would you like Bella to be? This is the real raw. We go from hello to yes, but not like Boiler Room meets Wolf of Wall Street. No, like heart-centered, integrous hello to yes. Until we have to like bring out the lightning bolt, but we don't usually have to bring out lightning bolts in the real world. So what's a yes that matters to you in the world? And who would Bella be to cause that? She could be herself. She could be an ideal avatar. She could be like a specific person. Bella, you've been, I think, Oprah Winfrey. You've been all kinds of crazy people. So Adrian, who would you like Bella to be today?
So I would actually go with none other than Bella herself. You're very interesting. And then with these paths cross, perhaps we can connect a dot here. So I'll go with Bella.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Okay. So judges, this first portion of the conversation, it's going to be 2 rounds, 3 minutes apiece. In the first round, we're going to be assessing for Adrian and for Jess, how they like open listening and connect on a heart-to-heart level, and perhaps put a little something at stake related to Bella, heading into round 2, where they'll move into whatever the yes they're seeking. It doesn't need to be a sale. It could just be for any yes or for a longer meeting. So Adrian, are you ready?
I am.
All right, please take us in. Like this is a cold call or a setup call?
I guess
Let's say setup.
A setup call, okay. So Bella, you wanna go ring, ring?
Ring, ring.
Let me get my volume off of here, sorry. Okay. Hello, hi Bella. Okay, so the time's going. So Bella, I want to talk to you for a moment. I know that you're a very busy woman, given by all of the great things that you do. There's a lot of things that I'm doing that align to the things that you have already done. And there's no way that 3 minutes can even scratch the surface on the things that I can benefit from you. But my goal for this conversation is to talk to you in hopes that it will just make you more curious and want to give me more of your time. So in doing that, I will start by telling you that my name is Adrian. I am known for playing basketball. That is what I'm known for if you just meet me. But those that know me personally, they know my heart. I think that when my time is up, I think that I will be known for more what I did with my heart work. And a lot of that has translated in what I'm trying to do. And so I want to get right to it and say like how I got to this styling thing was a quick build up, and I'll give you a timeline from 2018 until now. And then I'll try to leave some time just so that you can decide if there's something there that just connects. But in 2018, I was still under a professional contract in Europe. And I just came back into the States where I was living in New Mexico with my family. And I got this phone call that I was being inducted into the TCU Hall of Fame on my 10th year out. Which was very exciting. But the thing that resonated most with my heart is that 40% of that decision was based on all of the work that I've done off the court to give back. And I'd been giving back camps and camps and camps. And I'll go overseas, make a little, and come back to the States and find a way to give a lot and just give these kids the things that I didn't have growing up. And I did that continuously. But a couple of months after that induction, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And we did
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for acknowledging that. But God has been just pulling me, and I am just here and letting it happen. And so that's why I want to talk to you in real time and wrap that up. And I went into a corporate job as a philanthropist as I retired, and after we had lost her 7 months into the battle. And I realized in this time I need to be self-employed, and I just want to be still. And that's why I'm kind of transitioning into styling. The styling company, and under the umbrella of it is just a lot of hard work that I would love to tell you more about, because it resonates with just who you are as a woman, that fierce mentality. And I just really want to do the hard work and meet here. So I would leave it at that in hopes that we can just talk more.
Definitely. I've got to take another quick call right now, but I can call you back in a few minutes.
So I get a call back. This is great. Thank you.
Yeah, I will call you back.
Adrian, amazing job. How'd that feel for you?
It felt good. It felt good. That ticking time up there, I'm working on those things. But other than that, having to say that, I was able to connect with it I'm okay with it. It's good. It was a good release. Thank you.
Excellent. Bella, how'd that feel for you?
I felt her heart. Definitely
Awesome.
felt her heart.
All right, Jess, are you ready to go? Coming from the other side of the pond?
Yes. Would you be able to be, if possible, a person from Hay House Publishing House?
Absolutely. I'm happy
Amazing.
to.
Please take us in. We got publishing, bookness in the house.
Shall I start, by the way? Oh, yeah. Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm Jess Impiazzi, and I've recently had my first book published, which is called Silver Linings. Now, this book was created because I wanted other people to know that when you have struggles, there's always a silver lining to each and every struggle. And I wanted young girls of my age to be able to find that and always know there's hope. Now, it took me a year to write the book. I'd never actually written a book before, and I was very thankful.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was so amazing because I felt a calling to do it, but I'd never written a book. I went to theatre school, so I spent a year and a half just by myself in cafes around, some in LA, some in England, and I just got down to write it from the heart. I got picked up by my first publishing house straight away, which was incredible because it's not necessarily what I expected, but I had the vision that I knew it was going to come about. I just didn't know how. So I got there in the end. Now, from that book, I've now started writing my second book. And this one, I didn't want to be such a memoir. I wanted it to be more of a guide of tools for younger people to understand how they can put them into action and change their lives around too. So I really was hoping to have more of a conversation with you and maybe show you some of my work that I've done so far on the book and the ideas which I have, to maybe come into Hay House and have a discussion with you, because I know your publishing house is very into the spiritual side and the self-help and the growth department. And for me, self-growth and mindset has been the one thing that kind of pulled me out from rock bottom and put me back on top. And I may not be where I need to be in life, but that's part of the wonder of these books that I want to write, is to show people that there's always time for growth, and it's a non-stop thing. We're always growing, we're always learning, and there's so much knowledge from around the world that we can possess. And that was the idea of the second book. And I was just hoping to talk more about that and get your opinions, if that would be the type of book that you'd be willing to take or show more interest in.
Yeah, I would definitely love to have more conversation about that. I have a quick call that I need to take now, and then I'll call you back in a few minutes and we'll continue the conversation.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Amazing. Jess, how'd that feel for you?
I was really nervous.
You have nothing to be nervous about. You're amazing, right? And we talk like what this space is all about on the Real Raw is that influence is in fact a superpower. And there's a series of scientific dynamics that go into it. And it's a game of heart and it's a game of math in a variety of ways. And one of the fundamental jump off points is there's no failure, there's no rejection, but we fear that. And our like survival brain makes up all kinds of stories, which are totally normal for you to have that concern. But what if we could like condition our nervous system to a place where we realize there's literally no failure and no rejection? And then things become much more free. An amazing job. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bella, how was that?
That was fantastic.
Outstanding.
So,
Yes.
Someone asked me. Yes.
Amazing. So let's drop in with our judges. So judges, we're gonna go 30 seconds of feedback, first for Adrian, then for Jess. And our 30 seconds of feedback, where we're going with all of this, is on a scale of 1 to 10, what our score would be, number one. But first, like 15 seconds went well, 15 seconds what didn't. If it gets out of the 30-second range, then Bella is going to jump in and go, and your score is great. So let's start this first and foremost with Mary. And we have somebody crawling on the floor right here.
Here, guys. I don't know what's going on, but there's something, I'm sure.
Yeah,
all right, so am I starting with Adrian?
Yes.
Okay, so feedback, and maybe I didn't understand quite right, but I was thinking that the development of rapport to me means a give and take. And so I was looking for a breath there to allow Bella to be able to respond well. And at one point she was so intent, I think, on delivery that she almost stepped over Bella trying to empathize with her, so I think that probably giving that little bit of space there would have been good to get that kind of rapport, that identification going, because clearly Bella's trying to say, I'm so sorry,
And your score is?
Okay, sorry about that. I would say probably an 8. I thought she did really well and comfortable.
Yeah,
with
and for
that.
everybody, there's no problem. You're giving your feedback and 30 seconds goes quickly. So Bella
It
just
does. Sorry.
No, please. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. You're amazing. I love the feedback also, by the way. And what'd you have for Jess, Mary?
Yes, great energy. You almost are so, so energetic that it draws people into your facial expressions and whatnot. One thing I would say is when you roll your eyes upward, it's like you're looking for words or answers. So, keeping the eye contact, if you're talking to somebody one-on-one. I liked it again. I think developing a rapport, you were easy with it, but I think, giving Bella a chance to kind of respond a little bit there to develop that relationship would have been good. So that's just me.
Thank you very much.
And your score is?
I give her probably a 7.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl, what do you have for Adrian, please?
Oh, you're muted.
Countdown, 25 seconds.
That was such great feedback. I agree with everything. Adrian, in the beginning, one of the first things you said was how I can benefit from you. And I would maybe turn that around just a little bit, okay? Your demeanor is amazing. And even though this is a phone call, your eye contact is amazing. I like that you said what resonated most with my heart, but definitely engage Bella more. It was almost like trying to get everything out, engage her, but well done. And I would give you an 8.5 as well.
Thank you.
Jess, I love your energy, love it. And energetically speaking, you have presence and you have power. And the one tip I would have for you is rather than say, I'm going to ask your opinion, ask if you'd be interested. And it's like, I know you would be so interested. This is totally in alignment with your brand and will benefit a lot of the people. Get that engagement. And also, there we go. And I would give you, score-wise, I would give you an 8 as well.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Cheryl. Lance, how are you, sir? And what do you got for Adrian?
Excellent. I'm doing great. Thank you, ladies. Both of you did an excellent job. Miss Adrian starting, I would just say acknowledging Miss Bella's time that, you have, worked to get to the point that you have her in front of you now. And, obviously she's busy. She's got to get on a phone call, but your heart is there. I mean, you can watch your body language. You can feel it in your tone of voice. Your heart is amazing. And so that was definitely, it was easy to listen to and easy to say, hey, I want another call. I want more. I want to learn what you're doing with what's possible. And I'll give you an 8.2.
Nice. And for Jess?
And Ms. Jess, yes. So kind of reiterating what a couple of the others said, really asking what the publishing house might be looking for. You explained what type of book it is. They've got probably hundreds or thousands of books that people are, presenting to them on a regular basis, and seeing and feeling out what they, how they think the next book could go or become a better, option. So I think that would be, asking more about what they could potentially be looking for.
And your score is?
I'll give her an 8.3.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, so we are ready for round 2. Bella's back. In this round, it's like, perhaps sharing some of your amazingness into the rapport you've created and moving forward into an agreement, whatever the yes you're seeking. So we're going to switch it up and we're going to go Jess first. So Jess, Bella is back. There's publishing this in the air, and please take us in.
Hi, Jess, I'm back.
Hi, Bella. Thank you so much for calling me back.
Yes.
So yes, the book, I definitely feel that it fits in with Hay House's alignment and ethos of what they're looking for. I wanted to make sure this book was bringing the younger generation as well into a more productive mindset. I know that in this day and age, we're very much stuck into social media, and we've seen a big increase in mental health amongst young people because of the use of social media and the dangers that that also entails. So this second book also gives advice about how to keep authentically to you without all the noise from the outside, and follow what you have from your inside. Because I truly believe, and which I want to keep in the idea of the book, is that we're all born with something inside us and a purpose for this world. And unfortunately, we get caught up in the noise of our surroundings, of our environments, of our upbringings. And I wanted to give a book and other people opportunities to understand that that's all it is noise. And once you can silence that and block that out, you then become in alignment with yourself, and then you can find what is truly for you and what you love. And I feel like with my background in the TV industry and in my acting, I have a platform for younger people, and I feel I could bring that that audience over to create sales for the book, but not just from a sales point of view, but for doing good in the world. I feel that I would be able to do that with this book. I feel that with the younger generation, sometimes I remember when I was in my early 20s, I would say, oh, I'd rather go down the pub, but I want them to see that I've been there, and they know me from the TV, but actually this is the route I'm following, and look how different my world has become since I followed these steps and used meditation and used all these tools that I've learned in my adult life. And because I have that connection with the younger people and the platform and social media, I hope to put out some more positive vibes and some more productive ways for the younger generation to think and to be able to take that into their life, and hopefully create better worlds for themselves and for the generation after them, and so on and so forth. So that's the idea of the book, and I do believe it fits in with Hay House, and I just hope that we can take it further.
Yeah, so you've definitely given me a lot of information, and I will take that information back, and if it's something that we're interested in, I'll have the team reach out to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent. Hey, Jess, excellent work. What is the name of your book again?
The first one is called Silver Linings. It's here. But my second one is untitled at the moment because it's to do with patterns. So I'm trying to think of a name it's undoing patterns. So my problem growing up was I grew up in a domestic violence home. I grew up with some really tragic deaths in the family, and like 2 disabled parents. And that's probably something I should have spoke about in the in the interview, but just there, it's just dawned on me. So it was breaking the patterns that I'd learned from these people around me, and learning how to break. So the title will be involving the word patterns and breaking cycles. I just haven't got the full name of it yet.
Awesome. I have some thoughts. I'm going to come back in a second on it. So Bella, we'll come back to you if that's okay after Adrian, and get a quick assessment, and then drop in maybe with a little demo. If not,
amazing.
Little magic trickness is like brewing. You feel it?
I like magic. I do. I definitely feel it for sure. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome. All right. So Adrian, are you ready? Bella's back.
Yes, I am.
Please
Hi, Adrian. I'm back.
Hi, I'm so glad you're back. And I'm more than glad. I'm very elated that you're back. And just to prove it to you, I'm going to honor your time, because I know you are a very busy woman. But one of the reasons that I chose you is because one of the interesting parts of your story is that you're from around you've worked in the area that I'm living in now, and you're doing the same things within the style thing that I did as well. And you've gone on to be a successful businesswoman. So in the grand scheme of my vision, that's what I want to be. I'm wearing a few hats and have some moving parts that can lead up to that. But I need your time and possibly advisement in this moment that I'm in right now, as I'm developing as a company, and to say more, like I'm wanting to know basically if we can find a way that we can merge each other's let me find I really want to be careful with my words, because this is a very special project and that I'm working on. But I think that you're so special to it because of the things that we can do with it. A lot of the projects are heart-based, and a lot of the things that I've done before are, and I'm doing them for kids that were like me, that didn't necessarily feel always included in so many things like this. So I think that with us working together, that alone shows what we can do. You know, that's the first thing that catches my eye. So I would want to know more about that, as far as what you did in the fashion realm and the style, like in that part, because
I'm unclear on what your ask is. So yeah, I'm not clear on what your you know, and I appreciate the compliments and I appreciate that, but what is it that you're wanting from me?
I'm happy that you asked that, because I would feel a lot better if I can articulate that question. You have just this energy, and the fact that to know that you have done something that I'm trying to do on different levels. I would like to talk to you about that.
And when you say trying to do you mean building a style business?
Building the style business and then continuing that. The projects, if I take it one at a time and little by little, kind of much like I did my basketball career, it just leads, and the impact, impact just grows, you know? And so having that platform and merging it with people that have done things that I'm trying to do and that are like-hearted, I think that it just can continue to grow, but not as an athlete, but just as a stylist and a speaker and whatever else God just puts in our path. So I guess the more direct question is, that something that you can advise and maybe think about working together more? I wouldn't know the perfect way to say it, but
gotcha. Okay.
Information.
Well, let's maybe circle back around, and I'm definitely interested. I'm not clear on what the ask is, but we can definitely have a conversation.
Okay. Well, again, thank you very much for continuing to want to work with me. I know that once it finally gets out, it will be great.
Yes.
So again, thank you.
All right. Excellent.
Yes.
How'd that feel for you?
It felt like a little fuzzy, like, okay, where are you going with this? Because my heart was saying so many things, and then my mouth was saying opposite, but it still felt good just pushing, because this is what you have to do. So I'm grateful.
Awesome. Thank you. Bella, if you had like one word, one sentence for each of Adrian and Jess in that round.
Well, I'm going to throw a curveball at you today.
Okay.
You ready for this? I haven't thrown a curveball because I know you're about to drop a magic trick, and my level 5 listening tells me you're going to drop a magic trick with Jess. And so I haven't asked that after you drop a magic trick with Jess, that I can drop a magic trick with Adrian. How do you feel about that?
Bella Verita, I feel very proud, and my level 5 listening is that you are feeling your Bella-ness, and here we go. And I am loving that, and that is amazing.
Yeah, and it's in service, because I can relate to Adrian, so I think it would be in service to Adrian, and so I would love to be able to support her in that way.
Fist bump.
I'm fist bumping.
Let's go. Okay, so Jess, the name of the publishing company is Halsey, was it?
Hay House.
Hay House, excuse me. Okay, Hay House. Okay, so how about you, Jess, will play Bella from Hay House, and I'll be you. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Okay. So, Bella, I know you only have 3 minutes today. I'm so grateful for you taking the call. It's an honor to be speaking with you and Hay House. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, well, I'm happy to take the time.
Yeah, thank you. And I will keep time integrity. I know I have 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. So, with Hay House and all the incredible work of impact that you're doing in the world, I'm immensely grateful. And I just am curious. I want to speak into your listening, because this is about you and Hay House for sure. What prompted you to accept this call? And again, thank you for that.
Well, your first book is obviously about growth, and our whole publishing house is very much based on that kind of book, and self-growth and self-worth and that kind of genre. So that was why we took the call.
No, thank you. How about yourself? How did you get involved? And I know we're running short on time, but how did you get involved in all of this work and in this incredible position that you're in and making these sorts of decisions? Like, what drove you here and what keeps you driving here?
I believe it was my calling because I'd gone through stuff and managed to fix things myself, and I'd learned the tools, and therefore I built the publishing house and wanted to hear more stories around me to integrate that into the world.
I know we have a short time, but my listening tells me that you've been through and overcome a lot. So thank you for sharing that, Bella.
No problem.
Yeah. And so is it okay if I just drop in for a moment and share a little bit about what we're up to here?
Of course.
Yeah. So the book is untitled, but it speaks into the challenges that young people face. And while that may be something that's commonly discussed, the documentary, The Social Dilemma, depicts the immense challenges that are facing our nation, especially our youth. Teen suicide rates going up, depression, sadness, all of these things. And I think that we have a very unique approach, though, to this conversation. And I'm considering titles like Loving Disruption or Disrupting Patterns as the titles, because I grew up in an immensely problematic environment. I had domestic violence issues that plagued my life. I had 2 disabled parents. And somehow I moved through and overcame that and moved into the world of television and reality shows. And I'm immensely grateful for everything I learned in overcoming that. But in other ways, I realized that for true enlightenment, happiness, peace, joy, there was a very different path for me. So I sort of overcame the first stage of my life. And then in certain ways, I overcame my success, which I'm grateful for, and the audience and the following that I have. But what I'm standing for in the world now is not simply experiencing, watching the drama of people's lives, but leading a loving and intentional life. And it's through the prism of all of those things that I've overcome myself and those awakenings, that enlightenment, that I want to lean into and create this book. And what you stand for, what Hay House stands for, I see a tremendous alignment. So how does that, preliminarily, how does that resonate for you, Bella?
That's exactly what we're after.
Yeah, amazing. So next step would be what? Most effective? I'm presuming you'd like to see a short treatment, or how can I serve in advancing this cause together?
Yeah, if you could send me over what you've done so far or a short treatment of it, we'll happily take a look.
All right. Well, listen, I'm immensely grateful, Bella, and thank you for sharing a little bit about you personally. It would be my honor and privilege to bring my audience, your world, to this work together, and you will have all of my heart and soul to bring this message forth. Thank you, Bella.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Jess, how did that feel for you?
I loved it. I want to take all your words, put them in my mouth, and then go straight to Hay House tomorrow.
That's recorded, and that's our, what we do here. And I'm immensely grateful for you, and it's changed my life. I've had the unique privilege of creating impact inside of courtrooms, on stages of thousands, and just individually, because this is simply a science and there's a mechanism and process to the opening of listening, the unveiling of truth. Because I'm pretty sure, Jess, that is who you are. Did I accurately depict and represent you, your heart, your being, your work?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. So Bella, I think you want to drop in with a magic trick of your own.
I do.
All right.
This is the first time ever I've ever done this on the Real Raw, but I feel you, Adrienne. I feel where you want to go in your business. And so thank you, Sean, for just allowing me the opportunity to support an amazing woman. Appreciate that.
You need no permission from me. We are co-creating here your magic. I am grateful and I cannot wait. Please.
So Adrienne, we're new little role reversal. I'm just gonna have you be yourself and invite and have your same ask, but for you to me. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So hi, Adrienne, it's Bella. How are you?
Great, Bella. Thank you. How are you?
I am pretty amazing. I just, wanted to let you know, I have heard so much about you, and I am so impressed that you're, go from, WNBA player to, starting a personal style business, and all of your philanthropy work and just your mission in the world is so incredible. And everything that I feel from you is so heart-centered. You have so much beauty and grace. And I'm just curious, what made you start a style business? How did this become part of your journey?
Oh man. Well, I grew up in a single household. My mother, she was the mother of 3. We all graduated college, went on, traveled the world. And so she was just a very strong woman and always made us feel like we had enough, you know. But when we were growing up and for school, you know, I loved tennis shoes and I loved all kinds of shoes, but because we were low income housing and her working 3 jobs, we weren't always able to have the things that we wanted. So I got into thrifting. I got, whenever we could pick one pair of shoes, I would make sure that I got basketball shoes and tennis shoes for the school year because they were all perfect. Play after school. I could, you know, and it wasn't necessarily what was in style, but I found ways to just articulate myself through fashion, even though I was limited. And so, and I found so many ways. And a lot of times I do a lot of styling and I put these people with a lot of money on with some $2 shirts on and they don't know it. And that's going to be the fun part when it develops. But what it's going to articulate is that you don't have to have all that to be all that, you know. I don't want the little girls that when they grow up, they have this hard time saying just that. And that's all it is. It's just that. So I'm looking forward to like just continuing to grow and do these projects that just show that, because I did it with basketball, you know, that's just who I am. And I think that I want to rush past that part of myself, you know, because for so long I've finished basketball games and it was okay, Adrienne, you know exactly what to say. Thank you for my team. Thank you for my coach. Thank you. And now I don't want to say that. I want to say that, hey, this is my team and this is this, and this is how I want to run it. So I'm finding a gentle way to do that. So this is a part of the process.
Got it. So if I can recap that, what I'm hearing is, you know, you grew up and in growing up, you know, these tennis shoes like made a massive difference in your life, like how you felt about yourself and like how you were showing up in the world. And then from there, you know, you grew into like where you want to be now, where, you know, it's not about like yourself and it's not necessarily about like, you know, looking a particular way, but how someone feels about themselves. Absolutely. Is that, am I hearing that right?
Absolutely. And that's what I want to show. I mean, I do a lot of the speaking that I do, you know, I tell a lot of my story and people want that. And I don't want to be a bag of Chex Mix anymore. I don't want people to pick out the parts of me and this is it. So though that confident, strong can go in there and it has the work ethic to do everything. I've been a leader in countries. I learned the language in Poland so that I can communicate better with my teammates. That's something our country can learn how to communicate with cultures and understand the different barriers. So I'm trying to implement all of that in real time, and slow as I can, but fast as I need to, you know, as far as Studio 33 goes. And so it's been fun. A lot of this, yeah. So women like you, just hearing your story, yeah.
So then what I'm hearing is this is about leadership.
A lot about leadership, absolutely. So community.
About leadership.
Absolutely.
So, leadership and community. So with where I'm at, and, you know, is it okay if I share just, you know, 30 seconds about myself and how I think we might be able to work together?
Yes, absolutely, please.
So I'm super inspired by, you know, what you stand for in your style business, and that it is about leadership, because I too am about leadership, especially leadership with women. And, you know, I think we're highly aligned in our mission and in that leadership. So what I'm curious about is if you might be open to a longer conversation where we might be able to work together on how we can empower leadership in the world. Would that be something that you'd be interested in?
I would be honored and absolutely ecstatic. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent job. How did that feel for you, Adrienne? Is that what you're bringing? Like, how
that was good. That was an exhale. Yeah. And I was able to, I mean, we never feel like we get it all out, but that leaves me a lot happier than the last call. So I'm grateful for the magic tricks.
Yeah, Bella, awesome job. How did it feel for you, Bella, to like drop in?
I was very nervous, actually. I was very, very nervous. And as I even like went back through, I'm like, oh, I totally forgot my HUI, but it was, I was grateful to be of service.
Super proud of you. Great job, Bella. Yes.
That's nerve-wracking.
Awesome. So let's drop in with judges. Thank you guys for allowing a little extra time there for that. And yes, Cheryl, what'd you have in terms of your feedback, please, for what you saw from, let's start with Jess.
Sure. So Jess, I think it's really important to remember WIIFM, what's in it for the other person, and approach it from their perspective. Why is this beneficial for them? Because the whole time was, again, all about you. Why is this beneficial for them? perhaps Hay House can really establish themselves with the younger generation through this book and ask questions. Do you remember what it was like when you were young and all this stuff came up for you? So to engage them. So in the second conversation, you
And your
are
score
inviting
is?
them. Score is, I would say, an 8. Still strong, but
Thank you.
still lots of, yeah.
Thank you. And for Adrian, yeah, please. Sure.
Adrian, I appreciate, again, the demeanor that you have. And again, same thing, what's in it for the other person. Us working together, that's way too soon. Like that's eating the whole meal, the smorgasbord, instead of enjoying a drink or appies. So just totally rushing it. And again, no perspective for the other person, and really inviting them to participate in the conversation with you, not talking to them. And I give
your
you
score
a
is?
7.5 on that one. 7.5. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheryl, thank you for being here today, and for your metaphysical wisdom, heart, and wizardry. How was today for you on the Real Raw?
I love this. I really appreciate this whole atmosphere, this whole connection, and I especially loved the phrase of how, I can't find it now, but really practicing the active listening that you both demonstrated, Bella and Sean, and expanding connection. What I learned most is really how important it is to make the other person feel connected and important.
Amen. Right. It's cliche that we can't get what we want without supporting somebody and getting what they want. But if we sit and realize that the first thing that people want is what Oprah Winfrey said is the reason she held the microphone for 30,000 human beings, because she told them in her encounters, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. People often default to money and doing stuff, but the richest people on the planet in financial terms are often the most impoverished in terms of fully feeling heard and present and safe. So when we give people that, it is remarkable what can occur. And thank you for that acknowledgement, Cheryl, very much. Lance, sir, how was today for you on the Real Raw? And then we'll get into some feedback.
This has been awesome. And, to both contestants and everybody, Sean, it's awesome to listen to how you communicate with people to help us grow, and every time it's the little things you kind of, each time we get this opportunity, you pick out little things that somebody says or that you might say or how somebody says it, and it gives us all an opportunity to grow. From a dad standpoint, it was awesome to listen today and have Adrian and Jess on and let my daughter listen to their stories and what they have accomplished, what they've been through, what their goals are. She's an amazing young athlete and has huge goals for herself. And so to just be able to be here, and I know that I'm driving her nuts right now because I pulled her away from her dry land that she was supposed to be training for right now before she goes to swim in about 10 minutes. But I think that, it will ultimately help her grow, and, she'll be the next, Adrian, the next Jess on this show, and so in my mind, Sean, I'm just thinking, how can we do this for kids? How can we do this for young leaders that they're maybe not in the business world yet, but they want to, make an impact. So I definitely want to connect with you and see how we can, create something like that in the future.
Lance, I love it. And there's a gentleman named Deepak, who's a part of our Unblinded program, who ran a Real Raw for children around your daughter's age. So I'm sure he would be very excited, and we would be excited to co-create in that space. So thank you for that, Lance. And we'll make that happen.
I would love if we have like 30 seconds, I would love to hear for Sydney how this was for you. If you just have a couple seconds you want to share.
Yeah.
You have to speak up. We can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
It's really cool to hear all of your stories and watch you guys try to have like conversations that you hope to have in real life and get to practice them here and basically perfect them so that in the real world it can go better so that you can basically get what you want easier.
Yeah, and I would
Love
say,
it. Oh,
thank you, Bella. Like, right, the same way you train to swim and build your mastery there, communication and going from hello to yes with people is the same thing. But fundamentally, it starts with this concept that the way to have the superpower of influence is to love people unconditionally with healthy boundaries and realize that any yes that we're seeking, we are in integrity, we are in love, we are in truth. When we realize that we're going to give just a little bit more than we're going to receive. So thank you so much for being here, hon. You did an amazing job. And I know I make my daughters uncomfortable at times, and what I bring them into and communicate in and around the love that your dad has for you, which gets a little bit weird when you're a teenager because I have 2 teenage daughters. It cannot be overstated. It explodes through the screen. So Lance, congratulations on being such an amazing father, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mary, as we take this home, how was today on the Real Raw for you?
Awesome. It was amazing. A really great format you got, Sean, and Bella, terrific job. Everybody, Lorelai, everybody, and including all the panelists, the co-judges, and the contestants. I also would like to throw my hat in the ring in working with you guys with the youth. I've developed a couple of youth leadership programs, and I can see total value of this. There are young people as young as 14, 15, 16 years old that actually have their head on that are heading in this direction. And I think putting a booster up underneath them is a good thing to do. So, yay.
Thank you very much. And I honor that, Mary. My son, Tyler, actually speaks on occasion on our huddle. He's a junior in college now, but he introduced me at our immersion when he was 18 years old, and actually 19. But yes, I'm standing for that in the world in a big way, because at Unblinded, I mean, what we're here to do is really to influence influencers, to lead leaders, to come together, to truly make the world a greater place. And I think we have a pretty good tracking on what that actually looks like. You know, I think a lot of times we can have this vision of like doing good, but we have a pretty good sense of like what that can occur in the complexity of what good might look like, because it can get very complicated. So thank you for that, Mary. And the energy here has been incredible. And yeah, you want to drop in, please, on some feedback for Jess and Adrian?
You would like me to do that now?
Yeah, if you don't mind, please. Yeah.
All right, Jess. Yeah, I love the fact that you went for the due diligence on Hay House right off the bat. Indicated that you knew what they were into. You did that before, I think, on the previous call. So that's a good connection. You told them about the market niche that you were trying to hit, that you knew was one of theirs. You got a little bit teachy there in some of the conversations. So I think maybe instead of to over-explain, maybe backing up a little bit, but you told them that you had a platform. You told them you had an audience to bring to them. Yay, good job. And you also hit that social impact piece that we know all good businesses want to do now. So authentically you, be careful not to reiterate too much, but I give you an 8.
Awesome, Mary. And how about for Adrian?
For Adrian, I think you were doing pretty good. I think you just got hooked up with, or hung up with, trying to explain what the ask was. And that is one thing. I do a lot of business development type of stuff. So I'm on a lot of phone calls. And one of the things that you got to be clear about is what it is you need from somebody else, and be able to, to say that in a way that makes them understand it. Now, she asked, and you went back trying to explain it again and got kind of tangled up in that. And ultimately, she said your ask for you, I think, pretty much, or, put it back to you later. So be careful about that. And other than that, I think you've got your heart in absolutely the right place. You made that rapport, that connection happen. So I give it about a 6.5. All right.
Excellent. Mary, thank you for your depth of your feedback, intentionality. Cheryl and Lance as well. Thank you so much. And Jess, how was today in the Real Raw for you?
Amazing. I was a bit nervous or apprehensive what to expect, but you guys have really impacted me in such a huge way and boosted some confidence that I know I do lack every now and then. And just to be able to find a voice and a way of talking to people to make it in the future an easier process for myself. So it's been absolutely wonderful, and I'm really grateful for everyone, and great to meet you all as well.
Yeah. Jess, thank you. And your likability factor, like your pull energy, like heart-centered pull energy is extraordinary. And so just a little bit of tweaking of the listening up front, then sharing your amazingness, and nothing can stop you. It's just a skill set to be developed a little bit. The energy, your presence, everything that you have is like right there. So incredible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Adrian, fantastic job today. And thank you for your courage and vulnerability as well. And how was today for you?
It was so great. It was very eye-opening to a lot of things, not even just the feedback for myself, but just Jess and hearing a lot of the things that you do and being able to articulate that in ways that I'm still working on it. And so hearing that feedback, that was helpful for me. A lot of you are people, even having your daughter on here. I want to be able to hear and connect to these people. So in my next goal or whatever it is, I have another business opportunity, I want to make sure that I establish that. So it was definitely beneficial with that. I'm grateful. I'm encouraged. It's a great platform. I'm grateful to be on it today. So thank you.
And thank you for your contributions to it. Beautiful job.
Thank you.
Bella broke new ground. Such a fantastic, incredible job that you're doing every day. And thank you for your courage and vulnerability and jumping in with your magic tricks. And you did a fantastic job. So final for you, my friend.
Final is, in case you guys don't already know, is on Monday nights, we drop in with like, what is the Real Raw? Like, what is Unblinded? Like, what is the formula? So Sean dropped in some magic tricks, and this is actually a formula. There is a formula for what it is that he does. And so if you want to learn a little bit more about that and what Unblinded is, I invite you to join us on Monday nights.
Amazing. And how was today for you, Bella?
It was absolutely beautiful. I just, it takes a lot of courage to be here to jump into that contestant role. And so I just honor both of our contestants for just saying yes and doing it and going in, because this is how we get to learn and grow.
Yes. We will see you on Monday nights if you want to choose the path of Integris, more money in less time with more magic. And Bella, we are all blind.
And just learning to see.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.